Moving on to you don't have anything to say about this, but it's gonna be the House of the Dragon season 2. Now, let me try to sell you a little bit while I also try to sell them. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you do not need to. Or I'm sorry, yeah, you do not need to watch Game of Thrones to understand the House of the Dragon
because it's a prequel.
It is a prequel. But this is like prequels done right, where it's not like, oh, this is leading up into no. But
the writer has nothing to do with this, right?
George R.R. Martin? No, I think he wrote this book too.
Oh, okay.
I don't think this is like an original idea. I'm sure. No, it's a book for sure. But this is done. It's not a Game of Thrones situation where like that's not even done. And this has an end point already. Like they just said it's going to be 4 seasons. That's it. It's a shorter story, but this story it's all about the Targaryens, which again, I don't want to lose anybody who hasn't watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But if you ever seen Daenerys Targaryen or Khaleesi, the girl with the platinum blonde hair with the dragons, that's who she is. Mother of dragons, breaker of chains.
Anything else?
She has a lot, but I'm forgetting. She has like 8 names.
Aquaman's wife.
Aquaman's wife. No, she's not. That's Amber Heard.
Well, you went real life. I went freaking. Isn't Aquaman? Doesn't he play the?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because Aquaman is in
some freaking.
He watched Game of Thrones, baby.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
Anyway,
and there were.
I forgot where I was, but point is, you don't need to watch Game of Thrones. This is about Khaleesi's family.
Yeah.
Generations before, so it's not like it's her dad. No, we're like,
and they're like the dragon family. Huh?
They're the dragon family, and this was them in their prime when like they ruled. So. This is about the fall of their family and like the little civil war they have. And you'd be surprised at how petty everything is and like how it led to the fall of their family or we're seeing it happen.
It just helps her in Game of Thrones. It helps her story better.
Maybe.
Because you see how they were. She was. She got them back.
Well.
She got them back.
Spoilers for Game of Thrones, but no, she didn't.
How she did.
Anyway.
She had 3 dragons. They killed one. They took one over. She came back. She killed one. She could have burned Jon Snow. She didn't.
Jesus. Spoilers for Game of Thrones.
And then they left us with a cliffhanger, dude. They left us with a cliffhanger. Jon Snow's not a freaking... What is he? He's not a...
He's just spoiling everything. This person dies. This person dies. That's
crazy. Yeah.
All right.
And then he became the Red Knight or something like that. And we never seen him
Black
pick up
Knight.
a sword. The Black Knight.
In the MCU.
And he is yet to pick up a sword.
We'll probably never see him again.
Really?
No, we'll probably see him in Blade.
That's what I figured.
Speaking of... No, I'm just playing. We're not there yet. Anyway... Quick pitch. This is about the fall of a family, and it is about like the politics of Game of Thrones, which was like Game of Thrones at its best. But it's very fast paced.
Like Star Wars.
Not really.
This is when like
Star Wars politics suck.
But this is like when the Jedi were in control and everything, and then you see the fall of it.
I guess so, but I mean, even this family has problems. It's not like these are the good guys. Like,
no, they're the bad guys, but they just have control. Like everything's in order right now, somewhat.
There's good and bad in the family, and that's what you see. Is it's not like, oh, this family's good, this family's bad. It's a messy family, and some are good and bad. Like it's all just all these people just need to have dinner and talk to each other. Which there is a dinner scene, by the way, that goes wrong. But anyway, it's not like the red wedding shit. It's nothing crazy. I'm just saying, like, all right. You ready? It's you. You keep throwing stuff in there. You keep throwing your 2 cents. Your 2 cents mean nothing here. You haven't seen House of the Dragon.
My 2 shillings?
2 shillings? Whatever their currency is.
I need to send you something that said that when you've just raided the castle, you've done all this shit, you're having dinner, and you hear the rhythm of 50 shillings in the courthouse or something.
That's the show in a nutshell.
It's freaking just a little bit, but it's playing like on a flute. I need to
the song just a little bit?
Yeah, but it's like playing on a flute. And it says you hear 50 shillings.
All right. Back to it? May I continue?
Yeah. I mean...
So, again, it's good politics. Good politics, and it's like a civil war with this family, and it takes place... Season 1 takes place over generations. Like, this main character you see here... My bad, let me hit play. The main character you see there is played by a younger actress, and then you get like them like when they're a little bit older, like young adults, and then you get them when they're like older adults. And you would think like, oh, that's gonna be a little messy. It's too fast paced. I think it's great.
Freaking Malfoy's family, dude.
It's Malfoy's family. It's the Dracos.
The Dracos.
So
Soldier Boy.
Anyway, season 1 ends with the craziest freaking cliffhanger. Like,
no, I remember you were saying. I remember you were watching this.
It's so good And again, you don't need to watch Game of Thrones, but there's so many good characters. And again, there's bad people on the side you're rooting for, or maybe we're gonna be rooting on different sides, you know.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, at least the side that I like one of the main characters, he's a bad guy, and he starts off and you're just like, you're a piece of shit, like you're awful, I hate you.
Yeah.
And then by the end of season 1, you're just like, go out there and protect your family, bro. It's so good. And then that's the biggest. Sorry, I'm like live reacting to the trailer now. That's the biggest. No, no, that's a dragon.
He said, "That's the biggest dragon I've ever seen."
No, that's a dragon. No,
this is the house of
no joke.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That's the biggest dragon I've ever seen.
Augie, no joke. That's the biggest dragon of all time. We've heard about it in game.
Don't let Kratos see that.
Kratos.
That dragon will go flying away, dude.
And anyway,
or what's his name? Toothless. Don't let Toothless see that shit.
Toothless can tell anybody, man. He's like Rocky. Doesn't matter how big you are. Toothless is gonna knock your ass out.
That's why you're over here talking about a big ass dragon. Why isn't he in Game of Thrones?
Good question.
Tell the people it's because he died.
We need the crossover. They're gonna make a live action How to Train Your Dragon.
I wouldn't be surprised if those are his eggs, or those are the dragon.
Oh, you have theories.
Well, didn't they give her the 3 eggs of what?
No. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
they
this
gift her the 3 eggs.
Yeah.
You're telling me no.
No, what I'm saying is, like, don't even think about stuff like that. Like, there's no connections. This isn't even like her grandma and grandma. This is like her grandpa's grandpa's grandpa. Like, we're far.
Okay, but the dragon eggs were like extinct or some shit, weren't they?
Yeah, but
they were like freaking, like, she's like, oh, these can't hatch. They're all old and shit.
Right.
It's because it's all I've seen, so it's all I know.
That's what a bad prequel would do. So I hope they don't. Maybe they do.
Hell no, I wouldn't. That would connect it to that was the.
But why does it need to connect? It's so far away.
Her bloodline alone connects her.
Yeah, and that's all we need. We don't need a.
That's why
we don't need it to end and then like somebody's like dying and then they're like,
but
this is gonna set up a Game of Thrones.
No, but that's why it's like her whole family could have got these eggs and they haven't for hundreds of years or however long it is.
Well, the problem is that her family's just extinct by the time it gets to her.
Well, that's what makes it better. And it's like, how the hell did you get these eggs and how did you know to give them to me? It'll just
that's a whole other thing.
It'll make that gift like this is
right.
This had to happen.
It's manipulated. It's part of the Game of Thrones. Viserys gives it to her. It's a whole thing.
Because now they're dead again, right? They're all gone. Like
spoilers, maybe.
Nah, Jon Snow has one. He has a little baby dragon.
You're just saying a lot of stuff.
No, I haven't seen it, but it's just what I'm guessing. Like,
but honestly, I recommend it to 2 types of people. Everybody. No, I recommend it to people who loved Game of Thrones at first and thought it fell off. I think this is a great jumping on point. You don't even need to finish Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I recommend it to people who just kind of have some interest in Game of Thrones but never wanted to jump on. Right now, we're barely going to season 2. Jump on.
Yeah.
It's really freaking good. If you're not
How many episodes?
8.
8 per season?
I think 10. I think HBO does 10.
In like 45 minutes? Hour?
Yeah. It's so good. You'll be hooked right away.
Is it like midnight or am I freaking?
No, this is like a 6 o'clock.
Right at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
They don't make me wait.
You can skip to the end too. It goes up on Max at 6 o'clock. You just fast forward to the end. Spoil it for people online.